Good morning everyone, welcome back to a happy Fridays video here at Bareham Engines. I'm on my own actually at the moment. John's just popped to the bank to get ripped off. Isaac is in college till 2, so he'll be back in later, so you will be seeing him at the end of this video. But yeah, I'm on my own with my trusty old phone and phone holder, guys, so get them seasickness tablets ready. Right, little workshop update. I have been really busy. I had a great week actually this week, really enjoyed it. You know, last week and the week before, it was a lot of cleaning, blasting, crappy work, just felt like you were getting nowhere, felt like we were progressing not at all with the engines, although we had sort of 4 or 5 on the go. But now we are cracking right on with the Cosies, guys. So if you noticed, most of the stuff there that we got back from plating is all off the shelf. And we've got it bolted onto the engine. So this one here is the one owner job, upside down I know, because I'm about to put the sump on, but you can see, look, how good it is looking, although being upside down. We've got the alternator there with the plated bits, etc. on, all reconditioned with our nice red oxide line, which they have as standard. We've got the nice gold front auxiliary pulley on there, all plated nuts and bolts. Even reconditioned and plated the distributor, looking really, really nice. And the same with this one. So what I've been doing is sort of doing both at the same time. I know in a lot of respects that is probably not a great idea, but I know where I am with both of them. Don't get me wrong, I will finish one job on one engine, then go over to another, so I'll get all the pistons in on one, and then same on the other one. But the reason I've done that is so when I'm going through all the plated bits on there, I know which is which for both of the engines, and we're sort of at the point now where the beginning of next week, so certainly Monday, we're going to be cracking on with the cylinder heads. Once the heads are done, it's plonk the heads on, and jobs are good, isn't it? These engines are going to be pretty much finished at similar times, and that is out the door, big chunk of money be paid back. I'm a happy man again. Cash flow is now on the up. Isaac is cracking on with the Rover, so you can see that is really up to a sort of a tall engine really, although it is in the dummy build stage. So when Isaac is back later from college at about 2, half 2, we're going to run through where he is with that. But he has torqued down the head with the standard head bolts into the carrier. You can see you've got the crank holder here, the carrier, and then underneath is where this little plate where the bolts bolt into, and it torques up the whole engine in one, so you're torquing up the mains as well as the head at the same time. Very unusual design, but it does work, providing that you've got the steel dowels holding the head on, because from factory, we used to have a lot of these heads coming in. Once upon a time, they were our bread and butter, and we would have about 8 a day when they were quite a common engine. And the problem you got is the plastic dowels in the cylinder head. Yes, plastic dowels. Anything to save money. Used to allow the head, because of the length of the bolts, it would allow the head to move around like this, and it would, because of the heat that went through them, if they overheated, it would allow the gasket to work its way into the head. So you would find quite a lot of the time when these come in, where the firing sits on the head, it would eat into the head. So you'd have to take quite a bit off. And that is one of the reasons why it came with a saver shim. So that is saver shim there that goes onto the head face, and then you've got the head gasket. We are not using that at the moment to do this dummy build. All we're doing with this is plastic gauged all the mains. We've torqued the head down. He has got one inlet and one exhaust spring, etc. off, and we are just doing the valve to piston clearance, see what we've got. So when he comes in, guys, I'll get him to run you through that. He's thoroughly enjoying it, doing really, really well. Quite proud of Isaac, actually. He's blossoming lovely, as they say. And I'm lucky to have him, to be fair, because there's not many lads his age are as not just enthusiastic but intelligent and keen, and he is whipping through these motors, the machining. There's not a lot he can't do now in the machine room. So yeah, just got to finish his college course, guys. Next thing on the agenda next week, once I've done the heads for these, is this one here for Kevin. This is the normally aspirated Cosworth. We have got some design changes that we're going to be doing on the piston crowns to try and give it a little bit more longevity, but we do know, we think, what the problem is with this, so we'll run through that next week, guys. We've got the new pistons there, we've got a new belt kit, and we've got a new head gasket of the correct height. So we'll be running through that one and just get that one back to Kevin so he can get it in his beautiful Mark II rally car, and hopefully have a little bit better luck this time. So this is the block for the A-Series Mini that came in from our friends at Wales. So we're running through this now. You can see we've given it a very light lick over. It's actually took 5 to clean that. It didn't clean on sort of about this area, so it has got a little bit warm in the past. We've bored it to the pistons supplied, and all we've got to do now is give it a clean, hone it, and then a thorough clean, and that can go back in the box for our friends, and they can persist in building that, I suppose. We've got to check the crank out, we've got to check the rods, size them if necessary, and balance the rods. So pretty standard stuff, really. Quite enjoy those little jobs. The thumbnail and title from the last video, guys, the Transit 2.2, we've got the go-ahead on that. You wouldn't believe how cheap the engine kits are for that, and they're a good quality engine kit that we would use ourselves if we were building it. I think it comes to 800-900 quid for a full engine kit, including pistons, gaskets, bearings, absolutely everything. So yeah, quite a cheap kit to do, which makes the engine, I suppose, in some ways economical to do, really. But I suppose that the reason they can do them so cheap is because they sell so many, because those engines are a bit renowned for quite a lot of stuff, really. So you find that most of them come to bits. The Volvo here, we've got to build that one. That's another one we've got to build. Austin 7 over there, that'll be John's baby. That's for a customer of his that he's got to rebuild. This one has been done before, but it had the same problem as John's. I think one of the pinch bolts in the bottom of in the small end has let go, and it's all gone a little bit belly up. So I think John's gone through the barrels there. It's all been bored before, so there's no bore wear whatsoever, and the pistons were fairly new. So yeah, it's just a case of Meccano on that, really. A few serviceable bits. He's faced the head already, so when he gets a spare 5 minutes, he's going to get that one together. But he's been pretty busy, actually, with cylinder heads. So John is in the cylinder head area. You can see now, look, we've painted the walls, looking a lot more fresher and surprisingly more bright in here. So yeah, John's been in here most of the time lately, doing the cylinder heads, while Isaac and I are out doing the machining and the engines. But he's always got plenty of cylinder heads coming in, steady trickle all the time, which is enough for one guy in it, but it doesn't give him that much time to go and plod on with things like the Austin 7 engine, unfortunately. But there's only 3 of us, guys, and we can't do everything at once, can we? How was college, mate?
College was all right. Got quite a bit done.
Yeah?
Yeah. Trying to get a bit back on track. So
back on track. Were you off track, were you?
A little bit.
Well.
But yeah. A lot of paperwork.
A lot of paperwork.
Not so good at that.
Slightly concerning when you've got circlips sitting on the bench. It's the old ones.
Hopefully.
I'm sure. Go on to the Rover in a minute, shall we, mate?
Yeah.
It's Friday afternoon, 4:15. Haven't even finished the video yet. Unlikely it's going to be on by 5. But, and this will be the thumbnail and title today, Ken Newton's Rover. Now, some things you'd like to keep quiet, isn't there, really?
Yeah.
But we've always said on this channel, we're going to tell everyone everything. And sometimes, oh, where is it? There it is. Sometimes, when we put issues or potential issues on the channel, we get very helpful viewers that have been in the game maybe a lot longer than we have, that may be able to point us in the right direction of solving the problem. So this is Ken Newton's, is this a P4 Rover? One that looks a
something.
bit like the Jag, Mark II Jag,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Is it a P5 or?
I think it's
P
something or other. But 6-cylinder, little bit like the design of the Land Rovers, isn't it?
Virtually the same.
Virtually the same. So it's a half side valve.
With a silly angled block face.
Very silly angled block face, which means you've got a funky piston crown design. It's a half side valve, so you've got the exhausts in the block and
Yes.
the inlets in the cylinder head.
Yeah.
So it's a semi-side valve. Now, the problem with Ken's engine. This is one that we did quite a while ago,
Yeah.
and he's a bit more than run it in now.
Right.
Bless him. We did have it back the end of last year because it's consuming quite a considerable amount of oil,
Oh.
and still is, unfortunately. So we had it back. Fortunately, Ken's a really nice bloke,
Lovely bloke.
a lovely bloke, and he watches the channel, so I'll no doubt he'll be watching this. And he's been very patient. Now, we had it back the end of last year. First thing we did was strip the head out, because obviously we'd done the guides and cut the valves and seats and all the rest of it in the
Stem
head.
seals, all that stuff.
So we've checked that. Head is absolutely fine, and Ken agrees that there's no doubt that the head is as good as it can be. The guides in the block are all been done, and the valves and seats are cut there on the exhaust. We've checked the bores, measured them, absolutely perfect. Still got the cross hatching in, you can see.
Yeah.
So the last time all we did was deglaze them. Now, the only thing that I'm thinking at the moment is we've actually got another issue with an engine that we did, which is a Morris. Is it a Morris 12? 4-cylinder, big
12.4.
12.4, big Morris
Yeah.
motor. We didn't actually build the whole engine, but we did all the machining on the bottom end, and we fitted the pistons, rods and crank, basically, like almost a short motor. And then the customers put it back together. Again, very nice customer.
Yeah.
But he's having almost identical issues to what Ken's having with this. Now, the only similarities between both the engines are they both fitted with JP pistons. And both owners have gone away and done their own work. I mean, Ken's been involved with these things for years.
Yeah, he's involved in sort of rallies and stuff. Isn't
Yeah,
he?
he is. I think he gets involved with a few vehicles and what have you. And by the sounds of it, people on the forums said steer clear of JPs. If you do use them, make sure you check all the ring lands and what have you, which we have done. I mean, we've used JP in other stuff,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong.
It's normally okay, isn't it?
And they've been absolutely fine. But they say to give them another couple of thou running clearance,
Right.
which we've done. And the same with the Morris, I do believe. But they've both got oil consuming issues.
Well, that is a very strange similarity, such similar symptoms.
It is a very strange similarity. The only thing at the moment that's puzzling us with this is because the last time it come in, we're still using the JP pistons, but we did actually get other rings which are not JP. I've got a feeling they're Hepalites.
Yes, I
like
think
that.
it was Hepalites that we...
Hepalite rings.
Yeah.
So it has got a different ring. Usually Hepalites, definitely in the Cosworth, we prefer to use the Hepalite rings over the Marla rings.
Oh, right.
So I don't know where they originate from, but this has not got JP rings in it, but it's still giving the same issues. So Ken's brought the bottom end in. He's actually stuffed a second-hand motor in the thing at the minute so he can use it.
Oh, right.
And this is just to go through it as you think and, you know, see if we can come up with some ideas. So we're a bit scratchy head on this one at the minute.
Are these the ones... They don't have 2 oil control rings, do they, on these pistons?
Well, the original design, I think, is the 4-ring setup.
Yeah.
But these are a 3-ring,
Okay.
I think, like a more modern
Yeah.
setup. But as I say, we've fitted them before in numerous other things. We put them in
Yeah.
Healy 3000 and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
think we've never had any issues with
No,
them.
no. Very odd.
I mean, it's the same with any piston, any manufacturer. You get the supposed decent brands and the ones that are supposedly not so decent. But we always check the ring lands and the ring gaps and, you know, how the rings sit in the grooves and all the rest of it. So what else can you do, innit?
That's it.
But usually a ring burning issue isn't really anything to do with the piston, it's going to be the rings.
No, yeah,
isn't
it'd be the rings. But
So if there's anyone watching, guys, who's got any better ideas than we have at this stage, I mean, we haven't stripped it yet, but in a minute, we could still be scratching our head on this.
yeah.
We obviously want to sort it out for
Well,
Ken.
this is the thing. If we take it apart and it all measures fine, it all looks as it should, and
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, we haven't cut corners, we never
No.
do, but you do get issues like this, and sometimes it's nicer if you'd stripped it and see a reason for it and get it sorted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's just a little bit odd. Not saying it's anything to do with the JPs, but it's just a bit of a coincidence at this stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Rover.
Another Rover.
Another Rover. Slightly more modern one.
Yeah.
And hopefully one that doesn't have oil burning issues.
Hopefully.
It won't
Touch
do,
wood.
Andrew, if you're watching.
No, it won't.
So where are we with this, mate? I've done a brief description this morning while you're at college, saying that we've
Yeah.
sandwiched it up,
So
torqued it all up.
bolted it all up as it should be, all
Yes.
torqued up, and got the plaster gauge on the mains,
Yeah.
on all of the mains. So hopefully the crank hasn't been turned.
No. We have done a drop down on the valves,
Yes,
these
we
two
have.
valves here, into the pistons. We've got more than enough clearance. I think they recommend with the piston at TDC, you have about, do they say about 4 mil or something like that? 3.8 to 4 mil.
It was 3 points. I've got it on my phone.
But we've got about 6, haven't we? So we've got more than enough.
Yeah, just under 6. So yeah.
But they're big old pockets in this. The only other thing to check, which we would have plasticined, to check where the valve sits in the pocket, but we don't have to, mate, do we, with our funky little camera?
Got our borescope.
So if we stick this camera down the port, fortunately, what we'll do is turn this on. Now this is the one with the waggly tail.
I actually did the same thing for that A series.
Oh really?
You know, we put the pockets in the block.
Yeah.
I checked that with the borescope as well.
So what I'll do, look, I can move this up and down. If I stick it down the port and move it down, you can actually see. You see that on the camera?
yeah, that little, you can see the edge.
So you can see the valve, and then round the edge of the valve is the outside of the pocket, and it looks like we've got about a millimetre and a half,
Yeah,
all the way round.
it's like a good amount of clearance. So
Yeah, so I'm happy with that, mate.
yeah,
We've got more than a big enough pocket on the. Is that the inlet side? I think it is, isn't it?
yes, it is.
And then if we check the other side, where are we?
Come around this side here.
Sorry, mate. It's like patting my head and rubbing my stomach here. But again,
Yeah, you can see the edge just.
see the edge of the piston. Look,
Yeah.
see there in the right-hand corner.
Yeah, you got a good bit of.
We've got a
gap.
massive pocket there, haven't we?
Yeah,
So he's all good.
ideal.
So we're happy there.
Yeah,
So the next stage for this,
whip it all back in bits. So
put it all back in bits, see what the running clearance is on the mains,
yeah, and then build it again.
and then build it
Hopefully.
again, and hopefully the crank turns.
Yes.
Can't turn it at the minute because this is until you've torqued this thing up, the crank
The
won't
head,
turn
yeah.
properly. So
It's very odd. You're doing the head up, but you're also doing the mains up, which is like, what? But yeah,
yeah. So what we'll probably do is we'll take those bolts out, take the carrier off, check the clearance, and then we'll just torque it all up again without the plastic gauge on and make sure that the crank
Yeah.
turns, innit?
yeah.
And then we'll have it all to bits. The customer has supplied some ARP
Stud and nut
stud and
kit.
nuts. So yeah, let's see what clearance we got, mate.
Yeah,
But I think we're going to have to leave that for Monday's video, aren't we? The result of
Probably,
those
yeah.
clearances. So
yeah.
we have got a car show on Sunday, haven't we?
Yes, we do.
Where is it?
It's
Bideford.
Yeah, Bideford, North Devon Festival of Transport.
So it's
I
not
think
just
it
a
is
car
called.
show; it's all different sorts
Yeah,
of
there's
transport.
lots of stuff.
I shall be taking the Lambo, and you will most probably be taking the Subaru, you reckon?
Yep, I should be.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of buffing to do first.
That is in Bideford. Where is it? Bideford Park?
It's like I don't know, it's, the park.
I think I've got
It's
a little
big car
leaflet
park,
on this. Let's have a little look, because I've booked in, mate. It was all weather dependent with the Lambo, but oh no, I haven't got the thing
These
here
are our
for it.
passes, aren't they?
These are our passes. But yeah, in Bideford, near the big park, can't really miss it. Just
Right
down
on the
road,
front, isn't it?
just on the front there, just past Morrison's.
Yep.
I expect on the left, and apparently there's going to be around 300 vehicles there.
Should be,
So it should be a good day.
Nice hot day as well,
Nice
Sunday.
hot day. So if you're not doing anything, guys, and you're round that way, pop down and say hello if you manage to see us. But that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Until Monday, have a nice weekend. See you later.